have to go back to the start. My elementary school in Lexington, Kentucky, Clees Mill Elementary, and I guess one of my earliest memories is just going in for story time with Miss Craycraft, was my elementary school librarian, and I was like a normal, typical boy who liked sports and all that stuff, but going to Miss Craycraft's story hour was sort of like almost as cool as going to gym class, because we would all sit around in the room and she had such a warm way about her, and that just sticks with you for your life.
Well, I grew up in a family that was not a family of readers particularly, and it was my library that really got me interested in books. I vividly remember going to my local library when I was a child during the summer reading program and loving to read the books and collect the little stamps or whatever the project was that summer, and feeling as if that was a real haven for me. My school library was also a really important place, and my school librarian really She handpicked books that would really match the students' needs. And my mother died when I was young, and she knew just which books to give me to help me to really to grieve and to learn how to cope with such a serious problem like that. And when I wrote my first book, it came time to write the acknowledgments. And I thought to myself, well, who should I acknowledge? And I realized it was really the librarian in my life who hand chose the books for me. And so I acknowledged her in the book, and I hadn't talked to her in years because I had moved away from my hometown. So I called her up, I found her, and I called her up and I said, I don't think you'll remember me, but you really made me into a reader. And ever since then, I've talked with a lot of my old friends from my hometown, and whenever I say, didn't that librarian really turn you into a reader, they all agree. It was just a gift that she had.
Well, when I was a kid, my mom would take us to the library every summer. We had to get our books every week and read them. And I just read for entertainment. It didn't really cross my mind that it was something I was supposed to do to better myself. I just was reading mysteries, and there was a series that Alfred Hitchcock actually did, a kids mystery series. I thought he had written them, but I think he just sort of was the umbrella over them. I loved my high school librarian, in part because she was very mothering towards me, and I was a sucker for that.
Oh wow, I think the library in my elementary school was probably the only place I felt comfortable other than the art room, and I would toggle between those two spots. Mrs. Walsh was my elementary school librarian, and she made school far more interesting for me than any standard teacher could, because she really just let me go and explore. So that was my first and lasting memory of libraries.
Well, my school librarian when I was a little kid, whose name was Miss Detweiler, I based a teacher in my book, Big Girl Small, on her because she was so loving and caring, and she used to read us the first few pages of a book, and then we would all be so inspired to read it that we would fight savagely over who got to take it out of the library that week. And my daughters, who go to Chicago's Nettlehurst Public School, love their library teacher, Miss Kupek. And they talk every time they have library class. That's the rose of their day at night when we play Rose and Thorn. The rose of your day is the best thing that happened all day, and it's invariably that they had library class with Miss Kupek.